Does time exist? Well, in my opinion, spiritually, yes it does. Now, I know a lot of teachings spiritually will say there's no such thing as time, but I'm going to get on to that in a minute. So this might be a bit controversial in a spiritual teaching. In a human world, let's look at the human world first. We like to do that. So, human world. Time is a useful tool for their existence, as it will give them the seasons, let's say, to live by. So they can plan ahead and plant their crops. So we have the spring, the summer, the autumn and the winter. Those seasonal divisions. Hello, Busby. Busby's come over to join us. You coming in the sun, my boy? Those seasons are purely there. They've been divided up so that humans can plan for their future crops or their future existence. They might be needing to migrate from one part of the world to another. Now, when I'm talking about humans, I'm talking about the true concept of humans, not the modern day world of humans. So we understand that they use it as a tool. It's also then broken down into days, so that when we have one cycle, we know when to expect the sun to rise and then the sun to go down. We then break it down again to minutes and then break it down into seconds. I don't believe that the original humans were really bothered about either minutes or seconds. It's only the modern fast-paced world that you have to be somewhere or do something in so many seconds. When we understand that the earth works in cycles, and it doesn't work in time, but it works in cycles. So it'll work in a day, but it's humans that have divided that day for their cultivation of their crops. So now we understand that time is just about that for humans. Time, spiritual beings, I won't say human beings, because I teach human beings. So spiritual beings are under this, are mostly, the majority are under the understanding there is no such thing as time. Time is a word that we've associated to understand how the cycles work, obviously, in the human world. So when we express spiritually about time, we are using the human expression of time. So let's fundamentally break that down. So we're taught spiritually there is no past, there is no future, there is only the present moment. I feel this teaching is correct in one point, but incorrect in another. Whilst there is no living in the past, there is no living, if living is the word we wish to use, in the future. It's only now, the present moment, that we actually live in. So when spiritually or spiritual people say that there is no past, there is no future, I feel they're getting on the bandwagon of other spiritual people who have expressed this, and they haven't thought it through for themselves. We're all individuals, and I'm only giving you my opinion on this. So, if there is no past, if there is no future, there's only the now, then why is it I can remember walking up that hill to come here today to do the video for you? Why have I thought about when I pack up my equipment and I walk down the hill and I will be feeding Busby his lunch? So I am projecting my mind to the future. I have projected my mind to the past. I feel it's being taught wrong. Yes, there is a past, there is a present, and there is a future. The past can't be lived in, and the future can't be lived in, and only the present moment can be lived in. That's the difference. See, when you teach something, you have to teach and explain exactly what you're trying to convey. And I don't feel, and it's a huge part of spirituality teachings, that there is no past or future. That's incorrect. That's wrong. It's how they express what they mean by that. And what I'm going to explain is how I mean past. So, there's a little 3-word ditto that I use, I suppose. I call it the 3 L's. So let me explain that. The 3 L's is we learn from the past. We live in the present moment. But we look to the future. We don't live in the past and we don't live in the future. So we learn because it's a past event. So was it a good experience or was it not very good experience? And then we look to the future because we can't live in the future, because if we try to do that, we don't live now for a start. But the future holds many roads, many divisions. So you could plan and look towards your future, and you would be going on holiday and you had enough time to get to your destination, to the airport, but then you had a puncture or you had an accident, prevented you getting on the plane, and your holiday never came to fruition. So that is one way of looking at, you cannot live in the future, you can only look towards it. Plan the basic outline of what the future holds. Because you have to have a future, otherwise I would just be sitting here just going, because I would have no indication of where I wish to go, what I wish to do next. And we got a plane going overhead. Hopefully that won't make too much noise for you. And living in the past, we can't do that either. We can only learn from the past. So my ditto again is learn from the past. Live in the present moment and just look to the future. That's what time's about. That's how there is a past, present and a future. Even when we go back spiritually, we've now gone back home to our whatever. I've done another video on that one. We're going back home and we supposedly have our review. I agree that we do have a review, but supposedly we have this review. Now, when we have this review, we see everything from the past. So there must be a past, a natural past. Otherwise, how could we have our review to see it? So past does have to exist. And some spiritual teachings say, he's hot, some spiritual teachings say that the past, the present and the future are all as one at that moment of your review. I'm not so sure about the future, but the present and the past, yes, they are as one at that moment because you are reviewing it.